This is the country of the new monarchy of the Domain of Weadland. It consists of almost the entire southern half of Africa. The country used to be a monarchy, and everyone's job was to work for the monarch for the country to progress, typically through farming, military, and fishing. The monarch had infinite powers and could rule however he pleased, which led to the abuse of the people. But in 1939, a rebellion against the monarchy had begun, and their goal was to take the capital city and remove the tyrant from his throne. But Weadland's army counteracted the rebels, and skirmishes occurred all over the country. The war lasted one long year of brutal fighting, until the rebels breached the gates of the capital city and overthrew the monarch of Weadland. For his crimes, he was thrown into prison for the rest of his days, never to be a free man again. But after the monarch was removed, the revolution's leaders wondered how they could change the way the government works so that an occurrence like this wouldn't happen again. They came to a solution. The country would remain a monarchy, but the ruler would have limited powers and also be accompanied by a Senate to vote on laws and a House to represent the poor, the middle, and the rich. But the monarch could not be any ordinary person born into it or elected into it. So they decided that every 20 years, a healthy orphan would be adopted by the government and learn the economics, the history, the religions, the math, the language, and the governmental system throughout their lives until they turn 22, which is when they become the new monarch. The Senate is made up of elected representatives from all 37 provinces in Weadland, and the houses are elected officials who represent the different economic classes. Since the monarch is not in complete control of the country, they must cooperate with the Senate to make laws. After more than 60% of the Senate agrees with the new law, it is moved to the House, which makes the final decision of its legitimacy. The monarch can participate in the law voting, and their vote is worth 10 provinces, while the senators' vote is only worth 1. Once the law is passed to the House, they vote on the law to see how it affects the different economic statuses and if it benefits one over the other. And if it does, it is vetoed. If not, if more than 60% of the House agrees, the law becomes legitimate. If a group of citizens are unhappy with the way that the government is handling things, the government pays no mind until more than 100,000 people sign a petition of the issue. Once that is done, all other law-making processes are put to a halt, and the entire Senate, House, and throne have to investigate the complaints to find if they are legitimate. If they find that the complaint is valid, then changes will be made accordingly to fix the problem at hand. If not, the explanation as to why will be given in order to appease the people to get their numbers below the 100,000 mark. And if the people still complain, with the government having no solution, it no longer needs to investigate. And that is the new monarchy of the Domain of Weadland.